Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for Judas and the Black Messiah, starring Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. The movie takes place in Chicago during the late 1960s and follows a petty criminal by the name of Bill O'Neill, played by Lakeith Stanfield. One night, he is arrested after attempting to hijack a car disguised as an FBI agent, complete with a fake badge and everything. Which, yeah, impersonating an FBI agent is maybe not the smartest thing to do when trying to steal cars. However, soon after his arrest, he's approached by a real FBI agent, Roy Mitchell, played by Jesse Plemons, and he's given the opportunity to have all of his charges cleared if he infiltrates the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, led by Fred Hampton, who Daniel Kaluuya plays. So O'Neill agrees to do so, just have his charges cleared, but things get a little tricky once he gets closer to Fred Hampton and starts to rise up further within the ranks of the Black Panther Party. So every once in a while, a movie comes out that I don't review right away because it's so heavy and so topical despite being a period piece that I really need time to sit down and think about it. And that's exactly the case with this movie right here, Judas and the Black Messiah. To this day, it astonishes me how many movies that are period pieces end up being so relevant compared to what's going on in the world today. If you've been following anything that's going on with the Black Lives Matter movement last year in 2020, then this movie really hits a lot harder. And there's definitely some differences in what happened back then, at least according to this movie, versus what happened now, but the general idea is still very much the same. Let me first say this before I continue with this review. The movie's really, really good. I know I didn't open with that right away, so just in case you're wondering on whether or not this was a good or bad movie, it is fantastic. And one of the things that this movie brought to light for me personally was who Fred Hampton was and how he led the Black Panther Party section of Illinois. And when watching this movie, you can clearly tell that Fred Hampton is trying to basically unite people together. And in some of his rallies, you can see there's more than just black people in the crowd. And it's clearly in the aftermath of the Civil Rights Movement and years after Martin Luther King was assassinated. So that's his overall goal. I know a lot of you probably don't want to hear me talk about politics, and normally on YouTube I try to stay away from it, but considering the fact that this movie's story takes place over 50 years ago, and yet is still as relevant today as it was back then, you can't talk about this movie without talking about politics and what's going on in the world today. You'd be foolish to try to skate around the politics surrounding this movie. Now, that being said, I'm going to stop it right there in terms of the political talk, but it just goes to show you how powerful this movie actually is. As for everything else, it's really good. Well, I had one problem with this movie, but I'll get to that a little later. Your two leads, Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya, are both great. Daniel Kaluuya, even to this day, continues to impress me as an actor because he's a British actor, and yet between Get Out, Black Panther, and now this, he easily manages to work so many different accents and make them incredibly believable. And by the time you get to the end of the movie and what actually happens to Fred Hampton, it's pretty sad. And on that note, when it comes to Lakeith Stanfield as Bill O'Neill, you kind of don't want to feel sympathy for him because what he does kind of led to what happened to Fred Hampton. If you don't know the real life story, then I'm not going to say it on this review. You can just go ahead and do the research yourself. But then when you get to the end of the movie and they talk about what happened to the real life people, and when you think back to the whole movie, you feel so bad for Bill O'Neill. Watching it, it really does make you frustrated how some of these situations, unfortunately, are repeated in today's society. And it's really something to think about. Now, as for my one problem with the movie, and it's nothing too major, but it was pretty distracting, it is Michael Sheen's makeup as J. Edgar Hoover. Yes, Michael Sheen is in this movie as J. Edgar Hoover, who was the director of the FBI at the time. And he's not in the movie for very long, but when he pops up, the makeup job is just really weird. It's not bad enough to where it took me out of the movie and I was disengaged, but it is definitely weird enough to be distracting. So that's the only thing I really have in terms of criticism. Everything else about this movie is great. It really makes you think about the parallels going on nowadays compared to back then and realize that times haven't changed all that much. The performances from your two leads are fantastic. The movie moves at a very great pace. It's never boring. So I'd say it's worth seeing in your lifetime. While I really like this movie, the thing that's keeping me from giving it my highest rating is the fact that it's not a movie that I'd really want to watch again. It's really good, and considering that this movie's getting a lot of buzz, especially since for award season this year, they're allowing movies from January and February to count as part of the 2020 award season. It's one that a lot of people are going to be talking about, so definitely check it out. It's on HBO Max, so if you're in an area where you can't see a movie in theaters, then HBO Max is the best place to see this movie. And there you go, that's my review for Judas and the Black Messiah. I hope you enjoyed it, and now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one. Hello everyone, I just wanted to say thank you all for watching my review for Judas and the Black Messiah. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share me with your friends. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, go check out my Twitch channel, and support me on Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.